So, greetings from Cameroon. Greetings from Cameroon. The people of Cameroon.
Bonsoir.
You spent a few weeks in Cameroon.
I mean, bonjour, and bonjour are like very. I think the people of Cameroon are nice. So you get that from like random people.
Yeah,
but first of all, shout out to the Shitolo seller. It's a Cameroonian food called bitong, and they sell it with shitolu, salmon and pepper. She's called Madame Francois Setin. You see, so entrenched was Ghana in Cameroon, very well represented by able journalists. That by the time Ghanaians were leaving, there was a certain just space, just a few steps from our hotel, that earned the name Ghana Bar. Listen.
Boys.
It was an interesting place. You would get culture, you would get good information, you would get good conversation, but most of all, you would understand the inner workings of the Black Stars. Now, I just start off by saying that we have a leadership crisis as far as the Black Stars are concerned. Let me start off with obviously where it always starts from, because I always like to say that everything is in tandem. Everything that needs to happen in sync for things to do well, right?
SEM.
Good. So let's start from obviously our Papa, the president of the land. I just want to say first of all that he received some backlash, I think, a few months ago. Both him and his minister, because there was this proposition about $25 million being thrown at the Black Stars qualification campaign and also the World Cup. The truth is, look, if I ask anybody out here, nobody will be able to give me a concrete answer as to, one, if that 25 million has indeed been raised. Two, the clarity of the situation with regards to that money. First, it was qualification for the World Cup and the AFCON. And then there was also the conversation about, how do you call it? The minister saying that it was for all the national teams. As at now, you and I don't know how much has been raised. But I want to tell the president this. Like, the solution to the Black Stars issues is not to throw money at the Black Stars.
At all.
If the FA requests money and they want to put the Black Stars on the pedestal of the national teams that are doing big things globally, they must have something to show for it.
Exactly.
And I can tell you for a fact that as far as government is concerned, they have provided everything possible for the Black Stars to succeed.
Exactly.
I can say this on authority because the sort of hotel, the sort of preparation, the sort of basically the call to do right by the Black Stars as far as government is concerned, I think they left no stone unturned.
Exactly.
And so
they gave them
everything to succeed.
Everything.
So they have done their bit. Now to the GFA, right? Let's start off from the president himself. You see, sometimes when you are overly controlling, you want to have your hands everywhere. It will end up coming back to bite you. And I want to be honest today on a lot of the things I say.
Please, look, honest.
I will not sit here and be a hypocrite and say that if I, Benjamin Nketsia, happen to ever own a club, I will not award myself a quota where I can at least allow 2 of my really good players to be in the Black Stars. Anybody here that says that they won't do it is a liar. That's the truth. But do not infiltrate the team with your players. Do not infiltrate the junior ranks with your players. Do not make coaching decisions that will come back
all the way to the under 15
to hurt us.
Even at the under 15 level,
Coach, I'm coming. I'm coming. You see, when there's a big tournament of this sort, so first of all, what was Ghana's plan going to the AFCON, right? What were our expectations? Keto Kreku had said that he was interested in winning the AFCON. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, we have the names. Yes, I think that if everything is equal, Ghana can go to an AFCON final and actually win it based on the quality of football I have seen on the ground. Nobody can tell me that the players we have, even without Mohamed Kudus and all the guys that didn't come, nobody can say that Ghana can't win an AFCON. But everything we have now is a culmination of the decisions that have been made over and over again. Now, let me begin to explain. So, first of all, let's go to the handling of the technical team, because they are obviously the ones whose impact and leadership have an effect directly on the players. Milovan Rahevac, the hiring of Milovan Rahevac. And I must say that Milovan Rahevac is stuck in the Stone Age. He's a very egotistic personality.
Very, very.
He does not like to be told what to do. And I'll ask a few questions of the FA. For instance, we hired 2 part-time coaches in Maxwell Konedu
and
Otoado. Now, I want the GFA, if they can, to these days, you know what needs to happen? You need to put an official voice to things so nobody has to speculate.
Exactly.
Where is Otoado? Why have they not explained in details to Ghanaians why Otoado did not come to the AFCON?
We don't know why.
We were able to debate among ourselves as journalists that, well, Dortmund said that because of COVID and whatnot, he couldn't come. But see, these things are guesses. Now, what is factual is that there was a bust-up between Otoado and Milovan Rahevac.
Yes.
Over team changes, over team direction, over team
selection, everything that we know.
Little steps. Now, Maxwell Konedu. What is Maxwell Konedu's input to the Black Stars? Because
job for the boss.
Hold on. When you have 2 assistants, right? When you have 2 assistants, there should be proper role definition.
Yes.
There should be proper role definition. How much does Rahevac consult Konedu when it comes to issues that are important to the Black Stars on the pitch and off the pitch? In fact, there were running jokes that Konedu was a cone arranger.
Yeah, cone arranger and then a substitute coach.
When I was watching, he would usually be the referee when they play 11 aside. When Rahevac needed to do a consultation with his technical team, he would speak to Stankovic.
Yes.
He would speak to
the
likes of Ayew, and then a couple of the guys who were around him, the Chilean and all the other backroom staff they had. Now, have we asked ourselves, how are these people being paid?
No.
I don't think anybody's asked that question. How are these people
we were not even told
being paid?
That they were coming.
Exactly.
First of all, are you supposed to be told?
No, of course, we are the paymasters. You don't bring any
let me finish.
intruder.
Coach, let me finish. You see, we need to understand that the national team is just not a playground. Like, you just can't throw people in.
Parasite. It's not a parasitism.
And you see, Coach, relax. Let me finish. You see, the FA president, for instance, his work trickles down to a guy like George Amoako, because George Amoako is the head of the Black Stars Management Committee. Now, you ask yourself that when you are heading to an AFCON, what is the job of the Black Stars Management Committee? Now, the Black Stars Management Committee is basically to ensure that everything as far as operations are in place for the team to be able to function. Now, did they hire a psychologist, first of all? Talk to your players. Do we have a team that everybody understands can win an AFCON? Do we have a team devoid of internal bickering? I'm coming there. Look, we didn't do all these things. On the surface, it looked like everything was running well. But again, I was telling somebody that, look, if you go close to the team, right, you would realize that if Ghana hadn't been eliminated at the group stage, it was probably coming at the round of 16 or at the quarterfinals. And we've come as a point as Ghanaians to come and accept that we are African football royalty. At least that's what I think. If I didn't, I wouldn't come here in this jersey today. Now, I can tell you for a fact that in the last 5 years, we have steadily retrogressed as a football nation. And if you look at the modern trends, the teams that we thought did not deserve respect, Comoros, Madagascar, the Gambia, Mauritania, Sierra Leone, those teams are gradually bypassing us. And it's not because they have better talent than us.
Far from that.
It is basically because they respect meritocracy.
No more. They are honest people.
And they know how to lay down systems. Now, I was listening to the conversation from Cameroon, and all I heard was, sack Milo, sack Milo, sack Milo, sack Milo. No. You don't need to sack Milo. You need to get rid of egocentric leadership. And that's the first thing. Mr. Okreku makes tyrannical decisions. When he stretches his hand. No, I'm telling you, and see, in the Black Stars, we have come to be used to a lot of pageantry, and I'll come to that as well. When I say Mr. Okreku likes tyrannical leadership, it started from, and I never like to get into things that I haven't had a close contact with.
Yes.
Before he became FA president, I'll recall a situation that happened here in the studio. And you know, sometimes when things are happening, it is good not to react.
Yes.
So he came in with our good friend journalist Aminu Shadow, right? And I said hi to Aminu. He was sitting on Kurt's left-hand side. I mean, I didn't think that on a campaign. Good. I didn't think that on a campaign, on a week before the campaign, he was going to be allowing his assistant to speak.
Yes.
But the moment I said good evening to Aminu, he quickly said that he will not be speaking today, and that this is his show to run. Good. That was the first time. I was a little shocked, but I didn't react. Now, throughout the show, he kept interjecting me and passing opinion to my panelists to ask questions.
No, me time on fire, Paddy, and
hold on, I'm coming. You see, these are things that you notice and you pick up. Now, Kurt is somebody I've known before he became FA president.
Exactly.
Good. In the build-up to becoming FA president, I don't blame you for trying to take more control of situations, because if you want power, certain things have to give. That's the truth. But you see, power must be used in a way that benefits the people.
Exactly.
It must not just benefit you.
Exactly.
So decisions that have been taken for the Black Stars have eventually come to affect all of us.
Example.
And when you are the Milovan Rahivac and his appointment, I'll tell you something for a fact, right? Okreku's leadership has not been terrible, but we are on our knees as a nation when it comes to football.
No more. It's been terrible, baby. To you,
coach. No, hold on.
Absolutely terrible.
Hold on.
I will prove.
Hold on.
Today I'm here to prove that.
Relax. It hasn't been terrible. That's why I said we are on our knees. You see, when you watch an action movie, when you are on your knees, you are not finished yet. Except when the final blow is delivered. By the culture. You are not. You good.
By our culture, if you go down on your knees, no more.
You can still stand up. You still have an opportunity. That is, if you are a person who is ready to look within and reflect, you can still stand up. Or else you will receive the blow to the head and then you will fall to the ground. The truth is that our Black Stars is a reflection of the money of the leadership he is offering. You understand? Mr. Okreku has not done enough to galvanize our team, one, from internal divisions. Let me tell you, we were on the verge of a fan revolt at the AFCON.
Wow.
No, I'm telling you. And you see, there were calm heads who were there. Hold on, I'm telling you. There were calm heads who were there to see to the fact that the situation would not escalate. But the fans of the club, let me tell you something. Do you know how long these fans have been traveling with the team? Some of them have traveled with the team for as long as a decade.
For more than 20 years.
I'll show you.
One man has been going with the team over 25 years.
I know him.
There was literally a fan revolt. And if you saw the Ghana one-man supporter, Obo, I don't know if you know him. But he had a lot of placards where his messages say, one of the things he says here is, I told you that the coach can't help us. We miss his baby jet. Pardon the grammar.
Yeah.
There were other placards where he said, Coach, do your changes early. Stuff like that. To the point where these fans were pinpointing certain players within the team and saying that these players are holding us back. Now, let me finish. Let me just land on Mr. Okreku. Like I'm saying, look, give people around you the power to do work. Let people speak to you. Let people give you advice. Do not take decisions on your own consistently.
Mr. No.
Listen, it does not work. Nobody works like that. Nobody succeeds like that. Leadership point number 2. The players. Ayew, Thomas Partey. Ayew is the Black Stars captain. Thomas is the assistant captain. Now, Ayew has played for the national team for how long? 15 years?
Close to 13. At least 13 years.
At least 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
It's time to move away from ego-centered leadership.
Is an end of
Coach,
an era. Me, I'll say it here today.
Let me land. Look, Ayew has been captain of the Black Stars for 2 AFCONs, right? And like I tell you,
Add that one.
There was a point where Ghanaians understood that we were African football royalty, to the point where when we were going to an AFCON, we expected that minimum and worst case scenario would make a semi-final. We went to Egypt and exited at the round of 16. There were reports that there were rifts within the team. We've always swept them under the rug and acted like nothing was happening. Good. We've gone to Cameroon and we've exited at the group stage. Look, let me tell you something. When you are a leader, you need to put aside the pageantry. You need to put aside the gallery shows, the slapping of the chest, the running and the waving of. It's not important to us. What is important to us is that I noticed at the tournament that the coach was not going to help the team. Now, do you know what athletes do? Athletes are most often than not smarter than most journalists think they are. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when an athlete cannot speak good English or cannot express themselves, a lot of journalists seem to think that they are not smart enough. But you see, athletes are very, very smart people. And athletes are just like you and I. Mm-hmm. They work, they have emotions, they deal with external factors like family, they deal with external issues like money and needs. And so everything is at play when you are in the national team. And that's why people give a lot of props to a guy like Stephen Appiah. I'll tell you something, right? I've seen enough up close to the Black Stars to know that Stephen Appiah, yes, was a great captain for Ghana. But we overbeat it because they didn't win anything. Your leadership is supposed to give us a clear template to something that somebody else can borrow and run with. You understand? They didn't win anything. There were rifts within that camp. They just didn't get blown up because the media is not as dominant as it is now. Now you, Andrea, you have the benefit of the media. You have the benefit of PR people to defend you. Look, he did not display good leadership. I'll tell you something about the last game against Comoros. There was a lineup that was put out there for the Black Stars, and Dreams FC's Philemon Bafo was supposed to be in that team. Andrea Ayew, the captain, impressed on the coach that Philemon Bafo was not good enough to play in that game. He did not deem Philemon Bafo good enough to play in that game. I'm telling you this on authority. Good, let's put that aside. Within the team itself, are you aware that after the second game against Gabon, half the players were ready to down tools and leave? No. Listen, coach, let me tell you why. The players believed within themselves that no matter how hard they worked in training, no matter how hard they did at performance drills, or no matter how successful they were, the coach would not make changes, and that the coach would tailor his game to Andre Ayew and his brother Jordan Ayew. Look, you might think that it's a personal vendetta. I don't have anything against the Ayews. In fact, some people, when you talk about the Ayew, say that you hate the Ayew brothers, blah, blah, blah. Look, if I got a lot more Ghanaian players who would be like the Ayews, driving Bentleys, playing for big teams, and making it big in the world. But you see, when it comes to the leadership of our team, it goes beyond your personal glory and your personal satisfaction as a player. If you were watching the Black Stars games, I'll start from Kamaldeen Sulemana. There were a lot of times in that first game when I'm watching a close range where he's asking for a pass, and your captain looks around, and only passes the ball when it's a measure of last resort. Yes. That is unacceptable. Now, for a national team that says that it has 17 debutants or whatnot and wants to advance, you cannot tell me that you are trying to win an AFCON and you are tailoring your game after a 33 or 34-year-old who's played for 14 years. You are not serious. You don't mean business. You will give a player 3 90-minute games where he has not a single shot on target. First game, no shot on target. Second game, no shot on target. Third game, no shot on target. But he will play in every single game because he wields a certain amount of power. Listen, Andrea, you should understand that if he's a real leader, if he goeth to the next AFCON, to borrow your words. Hold on. Andrea Ayew is not the kind of player we can just brush aside and say retire out of the blue, because he's not finished. He's not finished. But if he's a real leader, Andre Ayew needs to sit, reflect, and tell himself that I need to be able to be used as an impact sub if I'm to help my team. He says that this team has young potential that is capable of doing it with the best of them. We talk about transition every day. This is our time to do transition. Look, in that game against Comoros, Milovan Rahivac was scared to take off Jordan Ayew. And it was evident because Abdul Fattah Isahaku was literally Ghana's best player up to the point. Good. Come back to the first game. That game where Joseph Pencil was literally Ghana's best player on the park. Everybody could see it but the coach. And then you start a second game and you ask the player and he says that it is likely the coach will drop him for no explainable reason. Now, at the national team, you need to understand again that athletes are people. If I have played a stellar game, Daniel can see it, Fent can see it, Nathan can see it, everybody can see it. And when you drop a player like that, you begin to create whispers within the team.
Exactly.
Good. Now, go to that Gabonese game, right? I say, and I've heard a lot of commentary around that situation. I say that the turning point for Ghana at the AFCON, was Andre Ayew not passing that ball to Joseph Pencil. I'm telling you, look, at that point, Ghana needs a second goal. Possibly will go on to first 3 points of the competition. Yes, Joseph could have missed that chance, but pass him the ball. If you look at that, if you freeze that frame again, right? His body posture is looking directly at the player.
Yes. And then
his line of vision is looking directly at the player, but he decides to turn on his weaker foot to go up against two players. That is unacceptable. The only way Andre Ayew can defend this is to tell us that his footballing ability would not have allowed him to make that pass, and that is a lie. Let's put that issue aside.
At least attempt it.
No more. Jordan is
Coach, hold on.
Yeah, you are Jordan is
now, let me tell you where I realized that the mentality of this team was finished. Now, when that incident was over and the game ended, we were waiting for the presser to begin, and I think they called me on that night because there was a Panorama show on that night.
Yes.
Look, he was yelling obscenities that I cannot speak on this show in the background. At who? At the media people who were ushering him in, at the CAF officials, at the Gabonese players, at anybody that would listen. And I know for a fact that he knows that that was a smokescreen. Ghana talking about fair play. Are you kidding me? You are playing a football game against an opponent that wants a goal as much as you want it. And you think that they should pass you the ball because it is your right? That is your mentality as an elite team? Listen, Andre Ayew needs to understand, and I'm hammering on it again. If he's a leader like he says he is, he should accept to go to the next AFCON as an impact sub. That is what he should do. That is what will benefit this team. Thomas Partey. Listen, I'm not sure what that extra captain's armband that popped up was all about. The blue band that popped up when Andre Ayew went out. It generated a whole lot of
From blue to green.
It generated a whole lot of unnecessary conversation.
It went from blue to green.
He didn't play good at the AFCON, but you see, even at his worst, he provided 2 assists, and that should tell him how important he is to this country. He came back barely rested and went and picked up a red card for Arsenal. That was a man that was frustrated. And if you know Thomas, he's not the type of guy to voice out his frustrations. He will rather bottle it up until it implodes in a red card like it did. He needs to understand that if he was not a big player, if he was not star caliber, Arsenal will not share out 50 million for you. Arsenal, 50
or
million.
send a private jet to Cameroon.
Arsenal to spend 50 million on you. You need to take responsibility. You see, all this undercurrents of tension and factionalism, these are the things that destroy a national team. I was listening to Kevin Prince Boateng and it was played on Citi Sports. He said it sincerely. In the 2010 World Cup, Ghana did have a good team, but it was not an exceptional team. They won because individuals set their egos aside for the collective good of the group. In 2014, we had better quality. Look at what happened. The team were all over the place. In this competition, it is a lack of unity first of all that destroyed the Black Stars, because you could see players in obvious positions. They will not pass each other the ball. When they come out to press conferences, they give us nice responses and they think that we'll go away and be happy and not see what is happening with the team. You come out angry and talk about fair play and throw tantrums because you have wasted a clear opportunity to have given your country a clear chance to win a game. That for me was a leadership failure. Now, let me come to the fans. Right? Let me come to the fans. The fans have a big role to play, obviously, as far as football is concerned and our team is concerned.
You mean those who were in Cameroon or us? Here?
Everybody.
Okay.
From the people listening to Panorama now to the fans that were there.
Yes,
look,
please address
fans
us.
need to understand that, like I said, athletes are human beings.
Thank you, my brother.
Athletes have blood. They drink water like you and I. They will not always have a good day. But you need to put your support behind your team and understand that bad days will come. But unfortunately for our fans, they have had to deal with bad days for too long as far as the Black Stars are concerned. They have had to deal with the same issues of individualism destroying the unity of the team for far too long. First, it was Asamoah Gyan and Andre Ayew. Then now, Andre Ayew again, and seemingly Partey and Kudus. And the team does not need that type of drama. Right now, there is talk of leaders of the new school, Ishahaku, Kamaldeen, and what's his name, Mohamed Kudus, also beginning to form their own little clique within the team. These things are absolute nonsense. The Black Stars will never ever thrive with these type of things, because look, coach, and I'm telling you this because players will tell you that they feel bitter about the team they are playing for because somebody is doing things this way. Now, if you are a captain, you set the tone by doing what? If we have a meeting, you come early. You don't set a meeting as a captain at 10 o'clock and appear at 10:15. And then when we lose a game where you are red carded, that red card was a sham anyway. But still, you apologize to your teammates. You don't come to your teammates after the tournament is over and you've been poor and tell them that everybody should go back to their team and grind harder. Who are you? Who are you to tell anybody to grind harder? After the poor showing you've put up, who are you to tell anybody to grind harder? The players who deserve to play, we don't give them a chance to play. And I'm saying this again, look, we've always made fun about Philemon Bafo on this show. I'm telling you that based on what we saw Andy Yadom do at the AFCON, Philemon Bafo can certainly not be worse than that. I'm being very serious. Philemon Bafo cannot be any worse than what we saw Andy. And Andy Yadom was injured in the competition. He was injured after the game against Gabon. He gestured to Milo to substitute him. He didn't. Kofi Tre, same thing happened with him. He was injured. He gestured, take me out of the game. They didn't take him out of the game. You know why? Because we didn't have enough cover that was trusted to cover for those guys. Mubarak Wakaso. Wicked waste of space and resources. Just wasted our national resources. They knew that Wakaso would not play, but Wakaso went to the AFCON and did run around the training pitch until Ghana was eliminated. This is how you kill a national team. You kill a national team when players know within the group who merits to play, but you will not select them. You will make dire last-minute changes to your lineups to accommodate your leaders' wishes. A team that wants to win an AFCON, I'll just finish with this. Look, a team that wants to win an AFCON cannot tailor its game around somebody who has spent 13 years in the team and is 34 years old. It will not work. You have 17 debutants. That is the writing on the wall for you. That is the writing on the wall to turn your team around. Now, I want to tell that, look, whilst we were at the AFCON, and I'll wrap it up very soon. Whilst we were at the AFCON, you know what's spoiling our team? Agenda setting and interest everywhere. Look, players and journalists are not interested in the well-being of the national team. They are interested in setting an agenda for their player who is giving them money, or who they've published stories for. Setting agenda.
Say it.
Look, it's wrecking our national team. The truth is that these things, these little things that happen around our national team, you will never ever progress like this. Players need to be happy to play with each other. Players need to be able to tell each other on the pitch in the huddle that, look, we might have trained for 1 week and the coach's tactics do not help us. We know within ourselves what our strengths are. If you are a leader or there are leaders in the team, they can go out there and play a game that is worthy of mention. Ghana only played 70 minutes of good football at the last AFCON, and that was after our captain was sent off. You know why? It wasn't because he was not in the game or whatever. It was because at that point we realized that embarrassment was staring us in the face. And that is when we woke up. You do not need that type of wake-up call. You do not need to necessarily just sack a Milo to make a change in your national team. You need to start taking a look at the culture of your team. The culture of this Black Stars does not promote meritocracy. It does not care how good you are. Once there are interests at play, your performance and your skill and your technique will be put in the background. You will not succeed like this as a national team. And for the players and their poor performance, apology and gratitude is important. The one thing though, I just want to conclude with is that look, when you are an egocentric leader, when the fall is coming, you will see it from afar. That's the funny but factual thing about egocentric leadership. You will see it. You will exit at the round of 16. You will exit at the group stage. You will hire coaches that will take your money and will not produce results. You will see the writing on the wall. If you see it and you want to take the right path, it is up to you. But if you are on your knees and you will not get up and you will let your head be cut off, it is also up to you.